Right, so gold on a 3 month, not much you could say about it, to be honest. We're looking at basic structure. This is the last high, higher low, new high. This wick is just beneath. So it's like a double top, you could say. Or like yeah, just a new high. So draw it out. High there, high there. You know, price could be trying to make that pattern. Just basic ideas. Then order block. Order block here. Price could come mitigate that. This is a higher time frame, so these are the time frames where institutions and banks like to go from because they like to trade from whole levels like 2000, 2100, even though price hasn't quite got there yet. The highest it's ever gone is 2075. It's the highest it's ever gone. But they love whole numbers and to trade on the higher time frames. So we've capped out at basically 2000. Candle bodies have remained below it. And yeah, it's clear that that's just for like basic ideas for like a long-term direction. Nothing too serious there. Looking at the last couple of quarters, shit. Price has made a high here, made another high, but not higher than that. So there isn't a new high. Price then melts, forms a low, comes back up. This wick is now lower than this one and this one. So to me, this is an indication of maybe like a higher time frame reversal inbound. I don't know. Could be wrong. Because this candle here completely taken out this last bearish. So could be followed by another bullish candle to wipe all of this out because there is a lot of money up here. But that's just two scenarios there. But looking at the wicks, we've got low, low, low. We have like let's map out. This is the last higher low before price capped out and didn't breach this to make a new high. So now price has come back beneath this. Now this is a new low. This is now a new low. That's a new low on the 3 month time frame. Price has then come up, boom, potentially the next lower high. And obviously, if we scroll down onto the monthly next, we can see that price came up, boom, hit 1920. Wicks are at 1960. which if we look at to the left, March 2022, so that's exactly a year ago, price was exactly the same area. And we have another one, two, zoom, price cancelling. Looking at these candlesticks, sorry, excuse me. Looking at these candlesticks, you can see that these are actually lower. Just paying attention to them fine details. These two candlesticks here are lower, which kind of gives me another like indication that price is trying to remain like bearish and come into these lower areas. Looking on the monthly time frame, you can see how this higher low, this structure. You can see it broken clearly now. You can see that new lower high. You can see it clearly. It's just nice. I like it. On the monthly time frames, I like to look at key levels on the right hand side up here. I like to look at these. I look at candlesticks where the wicks are. But looking at this chart, I can see monthly candlesticks haven't really closed above 1950 since 2020. Yeah, yeah. So this is the last time price has been below it since. We struggled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. In 3 years, we failed to hit that. And then again, major rejections to 1915 in 2022, followed by a fall in price, which created this new lower low. Yeah, it pulls back up to 1950 again, 1960. So looking on the higher time frames, we can kind of see where price is looking to go in the long term. But coming down onto the weekly now. Excuse me. Coming on to the weekly, we can see like mini intraday trends forming, counter trends, different structure patterns. For example, this is a lower low. However, we're seeing high lows here and higher highs, smaller time frame. Smaller time frame activity, you could say. But yeah, I don't want to get carried away or jump ahead of myself. But just looking at this empty chart, we can see from the last couple weeks, from 1960 up there, weekly low of 1805, which could possibly be broken. Zoom a bit more. Weekly highs too. So here we can see, let's just add another 1905. Okay, so price comes in, taps it, closes above here, taps into 1915. This is just the bulls exiting the market. Boom, we come into 1960 and we flush straight away, closing at the same level. beneath 1930, which is an important level as well for gold. So we crashed straight beneath this weekly of 1905. And then we create a new low. Price comes up a little bit, drops again, and then we're now beneath 1860 again. The 60s are important. We're now beneath this level. It came in, got touched, rejected, touched again, broken, new levels. Price has now come up to touch that, and this week we have rejected this level and we've started to move away from it. Looking on the daily, that is very clean. We can see this candlestick pattern here is very bearish. Very bearish. If we close like this, we should expect price to just melt for the next day or so. We should expect price to just melt. Let's look at some. So we have a liquidity area here. This price comes into this zone and then instantly just thousands of pips. Massive move. That is a great area. And price is coming into this area right now. So this could be our cap for today. This could be our lowest point. I did enter a sell. I caught 50 pips, I think, 60 pips. Just a little quick scaling. I didn't mean to. It was kind of just, I didn't even think about it. I see lower time frame confirmations and I entered. My take profit was 1832. And price literally pure precision. 1832 to the wick. Perfect. So I'm out of that trade now. I've got some of this nice and clean from this up here. Got back up to the daily. We're now going to see a closure. Maybe if we get a closure beneath this level, sells, mate, sells. Obviously we'll be looking for pullbacks, etc. on the smaller time frames. But I want to just note something. If we're paying attention to intraday and where price is now, we just clear the charts. Pay attention to the fact that this is the last lower high. That is a low. Price has now broken this structure. This was on a daily time frame, so this is very solid structure. Price has broken this. Now we're getting a clean swoop. We could potentially be creating a higher low around this zone here. 1820 is that? Yes, it's a good level for gold. So we could be aiming for this to come into here. Or maybe another push into 18. I believe, let's go. 1865 seems good for me. This would be good for the Fibonacci as well. Go from here to the new high. Perfect. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Negative 27 golden area, 1870. That's a good confluence. But on the daily time frame, this could be happening. This could be lining up by the end of this week. Next week could be beautiful trade opportunities. But we will have to watch for now. We'll have to watch for now. But that's one idea that I'm going with. Let's clear that. So this daily zone. We'll see how price handles these. I'm gonna put an arrow here in case price just decides to drop. Then we can see what happens down here. Possibly make a decision. I'm up 10%. No, not 10%. I think it's like 7%. So I won't be entering any more trades today with gold. But for direction, this is what I'm going with. The reason I believe we could have some bullish behavior is because up here, there is a very big order block, this order block. And this needs to be mitigated by the banks. So eventually price will come up and touch 1940. When is an answer I don't have. But at some point it's gonna come up here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah. So this is kind of where if price was to come up, I'd be expecting it to come to, and then maybe a massive melt off, but that's in weeks and weeks time. So not really relevant right now. Go to the 4 hour. Just mapping out structure. This is that daily region, yeah. So take that in mind. Price is coming beneath it. Like I said, we could come into here and pin off. Or we could come lower. But let's just plot some zones on here. Yeah, bit techy. So with these blue bands here, I like to locate 4 hour liquidity zones where price just leaves. So if you notice on that zone that I've just placed, there's no mess around, there's no retest. It just instant closes back in here and then again follows with another into this lower realm, pulls up, lower realm, pulls up, even lower realm, pulls up again, and it just a brand new low. So that area for me is very significant. Same as this one up here. These are all areas of where price could come and potentially touch it again. So if we do get this reversal, these zones are going to be targets for me. And then this one up here too. But let's go from down here. So if we're looking for areas where price can come into, looking in the past, we have this area is quite good. Price just leaves after. Yeah, we get a wick back into there. Wick, boom. Nice. Nice little 400 pip rise before a pullback and then followed by another huge. So that area is quite good. Could bring that across. And again, like, it just covers the same zone. Bring that across. These arrows are just mapping out the structure. So that's a low. This is a new low. This is a lower high that formed. Now we've got a new high up here, possibly coming into this area again. This zone has been formed, seeing that quite early. This is a massive area where price is magnetized to. So we probably will be seeing price come down here. If you scaled into, you probably could catch another trade, but there's just no point. You might as well wait. Patience is key. If you get me. But yeah, just keeping it nice and chilled, support and resistance and structure. It's just clear, simple. You've got lower highs being broken. A pullback coming. All we can do is literally just wait to see what price does around here. Then we could potentially be in for 200-300 pip moves, 400 pip moves. So that's what I'm thinking for gold. Potential buyers. This was a sell, good sell, great sell from zone to zone. Each of my zones, they can be target areas for your take profits. They can be areas to take trades from. It just takes time. You know. Gold. Potential buyers from any of these zones. Because, like I said earlier, ultimately we're aiming for these highs to cancel out this higher time frame storyline. You know, we've already had the weekly mitigation happen. I've just noticed that. Just clicking through this. Look, that order block here, this is an order block. And price has whipped 50% of that. So that has been mitigated. So we are in for a massive sell. Massive sells. And again, on the smaller time frame, price just repeats itself constantly. So we probably will get a reversal. This order block will be mitigated, and that will be the weekly mitigated, daily, and then at that point, it's just a free falling shit show from gold pretty much, unless news or something crazy affects it and forces gold to go skyrocketing through the roof like another pandemic. Then yeah, that should be the storyline. So for now, all we're doing is waiting to see what it does down here. And then, yeah, that's That's when we decide what to do. That's nice. Nice and good. Nice and easy from gold. Um, let's look at my other chart. Rename gold. Into my gold monthly. This is a system that I use to keep intact with my key levels, because key levels are very important to know what banks are going to do. So just looking at this, we are beneath 1900. These black lines are 50% between this and this. These are my weekly zones. Prices come into 1900, into 1950. We've closed back beneath 1850. So that's 1,000 pips. We've touched back into 1850 and completely come away from it. So what we could be seeing is a touch, maybe into 18, but we're at the moment, we're in between. We're in between 1850 and 18. So coming away from that thesis that I just spoke about, looking at the key levels, we know what areas to sort of work with. So we got 1850 on a weekly candlestick, closing beneath it like this, beneath 1850. This is just higher time frame confirmations to go low, to trade to 1800s. This could be like a 300 pip move. I've seen this happen before, and usually a fat candle follows after. This is a great candle formation, especially on the daily time frame. It holds a lot of weight. This is exciting, man. Definite sells for days, down into here, and then potentially. But yeah, that's it for gold, pretty much. Gone to my charts. 4 hour. If you can see, look, I've sunk off. It's wicks the top of the zone, and then we get an order block, sort of looking. It's not really an order block, but it's like similar in a sense. But we got that doji, and we have the closure beneath it. That is a shooting star candle formation, or like a hammer, bearish. And then we got a touch to the zone, candlestick closes beneath it, bearish doji, and then momentum. After I see this, I jumped in around here, and I caught from here to around this zone. My TP was 1832 down here. Price coming straight into it. Good little sell. Was literally in the trade for about 20 minutes, if that. It was pretty cool. But yeah, that is gold for me. Just waiting for these zones. All down here, down here. That's the video chart. So overall direction is that daily order block up here. Overall direction, intraday and scaling into what's happening now. Selling into these zones down here and waiting for potential potential pullback up to this area. Thank you very much.